watching the recording. Today's topic will be, I think, pretty fast. I will be done with that pretty fast. But I wanted to touch this topic because it's the time of the year again when students are coming to the Czech Republic, and many of you, the students, will be studying some of the, I would say, American universities like Anglo-American University or the University of New York. There are others as well. What I will be talking about today is about private universities in general. So not the public universities, but private universities. Because there are some important differences between private and public universities visa-wise, which you should know about. And the live stream is about that. So I will jump right into the topic. And the thing is that there are two types. Okay, if you're from an EU country, if you're an EU citizen, doesn't matter at all, because you have almost the same rights as Czech citizens anyway. So you can live here, you can study here, you can work here, you can start your own business. No problems, no limitations, nothing too complicated. So this doesn't really concern you. But if you're a non-EU citizen, there is a pretty big difference between if you study a public university or a private university, or to be more specific, an accredited course or non-accredited course. Because basically that divides people into two categories. One, I will call a proper student, and the other one, I don't know how I will call, like the other student. And the thing is that if you study a public university, in most cases that means you're studying an accredited course of a Czech university, then you are the proper student. That means primarily, or that means a couple things. First, as a proper student, you have free access to the labor market, which means that you can work during your studies. You can work up to full-time, as long as you still manage to pass all your exams and do all the attendance the school requires. So as long as you manage to study, you can also work up to a full-time. Once you finish your university or the program, given it's a like a go-to program, not like a distant program where you go like once in a week or something, but if it's like we call it presence, like that you go there every day, like five days a week. Then once you finish that kind of course and you get the Czech diploma, then you will basically forever keep the free access to the labor market, which means that any future processes like an employee card and others, even like coming back to the Czech Republic after some years of living somewhere else, will be way easier for you. Also, a great advantage of being a proper student is that you can get the job seeker residence permit after finishing your studies. So you finish your studies and then you can get additional 9 months of residence permit to stay in the Czech Republic and look for a job and start your own business. These all advantages do not really apply to the other students of non-accredited courses. So that means that you cannot really work as a student because you are not officially considered a student from the perspective of employment advantages. On the other hand, you can still get a trade license and you can freelance, you can invoice companies, you can work as a contractor. You just cannot really work as an employee. Another thing is that once you finish your university program, then you will not get free access to the labor market. I'm just talking about the immigration perspective. Of course, Anglo-American University or University of New York, Prague, they have plenty of other advantages, like double degrees and international degrees or US degrees. Plus you study a foreign program, but you live in the Czech Republic, so you combine two things together. Probably they are also a bit cheaper than if you studied in the US. So there are plenty of other advantages of those schools, but strictly immigration-wise speaking, this is the difference. One important difference there as well, which is actually an advantage for the other students, is that if you are the proper student, let's say then the student of an accredited course, all your student years only count as half towards the permanent residency. So if you want to apply for a permanent residency at some point, you generally can do it after 5 years of living in the Czech Republic. But if you spend 3 years of that studying, then the 3 years basically only count as 1.5. So you cannot apply for the permanent residency after 5 years of living here, but basically after 3 years plus 3.5, so 6.5 years. So it takes you longer to get to the PR. If you study the non-accredited courses, then they count as a full year. So basically if you finish your master's here, then you can basically immediately apply for a permanent residence permit. I mean, if you did the bachelor's before that as well, of course, but after 5 years of living here, the full 5 years count as full 5 years, not as half of it. Yeah, so maybe one more thing. Generally, the process works the same way. So if you want to apply for a student visa, or if you want to apply for the other visa, if you study one of the non-accredited programs, the whole system is basically the same. They kind of treat you as a student. You might also go to the student branch in Hladkov. So you are basically immigration-wise, you are treated as a student, but not from the perspective of the advantages on the labor market or your status as a student. But generally, you need to collect all the documents, including the acceptance letter to the program. Then you need to take them to the embassy, wait for the decision, then collect the visa, or then also get the residence permit. That's maybe one more difference, that for the other purpose of stay, you generally apply first for a visa, for a sticker in your passport, for a long-term visa. If you are the proper student, then you can apply directly for a residence permit. I've done other videos about that. I wanted to just bring this topic to the attention because now basically it's almost kind of late to start your application for your student visa or the other purpose of stay visa, because collecting the documents usually takes around a month, up to 2 months, depending on your nationality and your concrete situation, because you need to, for example, get criminal checks from all the countries where you've lived more than 6 months in the last 3 years. So if you lived in 2 different countries, then you will need to get criminal checks from those countries as well. So might take longer, but let's say a month for preparation. Then you need to get an appointment at some Czech embassy. So either in the country of origin, or here in Dresden, or in London, or wherever, which might take 2, 3, 4 weeks as well. And then you wait 60 days for the approval. So in total, it's like 3-4 months. And if it's June already, you want to start late September or early August, October, then it's the right time to start now, get in a bit to the almost late section. If you have any questions, please feel free to comment under the video, and I'll be happy to answer those questions. Or of course, get in touch and we'll be happy to help or answer anything you might want to ask. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and see you again Thursday, Monday, until the end of the world. Good night.